Welcome to the TYLA online marketing video series. In this video, I'll be showing you how to create a very basic website using Wix or Wix.com. I need to emphasize very basic because these days even user-friendly web design sites like Wix or Squarespace or any of the others, they offer so many options because of the different functionalities that are now available on websites and all the great things websites can do. By the same token, they can also be really overwhelming to design. So this tutorial is simply for attorneys who need a website relatively soon and perhaps don't currently have the resources, whether that's time or money, to hire a professional. If you're unfamiliar with web design, it's always a good idea to hire someone eventually who can help and build out a nice looking website, because these days if you don't have a storefront or actual office, then your website is your storefront. It is your shingle that you hang out, and so you want your best foot forward whenever you are creating and designing a website. But this tutorial will help you have some sort of web presence, basically at little to no cost, and something you can do relatively quickly. You can always play around with the different options yourself, but this video is, again, simply to put up a very basic website using Wix. So let's get started. To access Wix, go to Wix.com. You'll be prompted to create a profile using an email address and creating a password. You should be familiar with this process. And once you're have an account with Wix, you'll have a dashboard that looks like this. You won't have all these different options, but just if you're looking at them, you can use Wix to create a lot of different types of websites. I have a mock-up website for the TYLA website that I use to communicate with our web designer on our main tyla.org page. I have my appeals blog on Wix. Many years ago, I created a mock website in case I ever wanted to open up a solo practice, which I have not done. But these are just examples of the type of things that, types of websites that you can create using Wix. Although you won't have these various options here, you will have the option to create a new site. When pressing that button, Wix is going to prompt you for a ton of information. It's going to take you through several steps and ask you all this different stuff, and then it's going to give you a very complex and robust template to work with. That might work for you if you're more advanced and you kind of know what you're looking for and you're not overwhelmed by all these questions. I tend to get overwhelmed by questions and kind of just want to skip to the template that I can see if I can use it or not and what it will look like. So fortunately, there's an option down here to skip all these questions. Again, just more stuff. If you're not familiar with it, maybe a lot of it doesn't apply to you, just go ahead and press skip again and skip until you get to this page. And this page will allow you to begin with a template or get a custom built website. I recommend using get a custom built website because the templates can range from something that's very simple, but that requires you to have a lot of knowledge for what to add to it, or very complex that assumes that you know all the complexities of that template. So if you're just starting off with web design, I'd recommend this option here, get a custom built website. After clicking that link, you'll be prompted to put in your basic information. Perhaps you have a logo, but if you don't, you can just go ahead and enter your firm name or your organization name. For our purposes, we'll do the Ritter firm. My name is Michael Ritter, so we'll say that that is my law firm, michael@ritter.com, address, street, and of course my actual phone number, and click next. You also have the option to tell Wix sort of what the vibe is you want for your particular website. I'm kind of like these two down here, but not feeling so serene right now, so I'll go with sophisticated. Click next. Wix will then provide several options for you. The thing your eyes go to when looking at these options are the photos, right? But with the template, you can always change those photos to be more like a law firm. And if you're using the templates that were provided, there are a lot of law firm templates available. So really, when you're looking at these different options, they're pretty structurally similar in terms of they all have this photo at the top. They all have these different sections as you go down. So instead of looking at the photos, look at the organizational structure to see which one do you think you like best as overall organization. I think that for now, this one will probably work best. We'll give it a try. This next page asks for the pages that you want to have built into your website. So you'll have your home page, but as you've navigated other websites before, you have the option here to indicate whether or not you want a page that goes more into depth about you, the services you provide. Not sure there's a lot of attorneys who sell inventory, but perhaps that applies to you. Attorneys like to be contacted. Maybe you have a team that you also want to highlight, and of course testimonials from clients. But if you're just getting started, you don't even have any testimonials, you don't have to include that page, but it's an option there. So you click Edit Site, and we get to the part where we can actually start modifying the template to look more like the law firm that we want to project to people who visit the website. So one of the very first things to be familiar with when going through all of this is over here. Over here you have your different pages where you can navigate through the pages that you told Wix that you want to be part of your website. And keep in mind that every single image, every single block of text, pretty much everything about each one of these pages you can edit. So starting with the very basic, we have this section here. You can add sections. That's a little bit more complex than this video will allow, but we can start changing some of the stuff. So if you go to change strip background, this will allow you to change the picture. You can go to image to make it an image, and you can actually search from a lot of free images that Wix provides. So maybe you want to go with the law firm photo. Here you'll see a lot of images that are related to lawyers and law firms. So to pick one, law office. Now perhaps it's starting to look a little bit more like the law firm that you want to project. Sometimes I highly recommend, if you're doing your own web design, developing your own web pages, either for you or for organization or for your firm, that you invest in some good professional photos, just at least a few of them, so that you can have a good starting web presence. Over here, you'll notice that my video recording goes to the side here, because I'm going to drag and drop a photo that I have for the firm, the image I want to project. I want to project that I'm a trial lawyer and I'm going to fight for you. And this is just a silly photo that I'm using for purposes of this video. But you want to take the photos and show the photos that reflect your firm and your firm's values. I don't endorse fighting, but it's just for a demonstration here. You can also change this text if you want to show that you're going to fight for your clients, or Ritter Firm fights for you. But you can change pretty much anything about this template that you want. And as you scroll through and all these different sections that we added to the template from that prior page, and all the information that we included about getting in touch through our address, email address, all that's here. And you can change that information at your leisure. So once you've got the adjustments and modifications to this template that's been created for you, you're ready to go live. It's that simple, really. And you just go up here and you press publish to make the website go live. A couple other notes is that whenever you press publish, you'll see this option here. This is wix.com/mysite. So the question is, well, if you do publish your website, which we'll go ahead and do, you'll be given this temporary URL. And We'll go back to how to change it to something that's more digestible, like theritterfirm.com. But for now, it's https:// all of this. So it's not very user-friendly, but at least we have a live website, and we can go to the live website, and this is what it looks like once you modify it all to be accustomed to the firm that you want to present to the public. So that's how you establish a website using Wix. If you want to connect a different domain name, you would go and use this option. It does cost money. You can register a domain name directly through Wix or through another website. It's easiest to use the website that you're designing on to purchase the domain through them, but it's not always necessary. The last thing to take into account is that your website's going to look different if someone's accessing it on a computer versus a smartphone. So over here, you'll see those two options here. This is what it will look like on a computer. If you want to see what it looks like on a smartphone, Wix gives you a preview of what it will look like if you're using a handheld device. Sometimes the computer version does not look so great on the mobile version, but one of the great things is that you can then change it to adjust the format for the mobile version. And so when you do that, that's not going to change it back on the computer version. It'll be for the mobile version only so that it's more user-friendly when accessing from a mobile device. And that, everyone, is how to create a very basic website using Wix.